It hadn't occurred to Matt Shakman until now that Monarch, Legacy of Monsters and WandaVision both handed him a similar assignment. In each case, the sought-after director had to lead a successful film franchise into television for the first time and explore existing in-universe events from a new point of view. In Shakman's defense, Marvel Studios WandaVision was originally supposed to release after The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but the latter needed reshoots, thus turning Wanda into Marvel Studios' first series on Disney+. In any event, Shakman's experience in the Marvel Cinematic Universe served Monarch well, as he knew exactly how to tell intimate character stories alongside the grand scale of the Godzilla and Kong-led MonsterVerse. From doing WandaVision, I absolutely learned so much about telling personal stories set against a big, large canvas, Shakman tells The Hollywood Reporter. One of the things that I loved most about WandaVision was that it was this story of grief that asked, can you ever truly get over a loss? And Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, created beautifully by Matt Shakman and Chris Black, is similar in its thematics. Shakman reinvented his career through his standout episodes on Game of Thrones Season 7, both of which featured notable dragon sequences. Coincidentally, at the end of Monarch's second episode, Shakman was again tasked with introducing a dragon to the terror and reverence of the characters and its path. It all gets to this idea of wonder, which is maybe the thing I love the most about movies, Shakman says. That's what I love about Spielberg, Kubrick, and Nolan, and this sense of wonder is awe and mystery and fear altogether. Game of Thrones certainly captured those moments a lot, and hopefully, we have some of those moments on Monarch as well. Shakman is currently developing Marvel Studios' long-awaited take on Fantastic Four, and since he was hired in August 2022, casting rumors have intensified with each passing month. As the now-resolved SAG-AFTRA strike delayed any potential casting announcements. However, in the time since Shakman sat down with THR for this story, Pedro Pascal, whose name hadn't really been a part of the rampant rumor mill, entered into talks for the role of Dr. Reed Richards / Mr. Fantastic. As for all the rabid speculation regarding Marvel's first family, Shakman is sorry, but not sorry. I understand the exhaustion of the internet rumors, but I also celebrate them, too, because I am a huge fan of the Fantastic Four, Shakman says. I certainly spent time wondering who should play them before I had the job of being the person who would cast them, so I understand the interest and I support it. And so there will be an announcement at some point in the future when the strike has concluded. Below, during a recent conversation with THR, Shakman also discusses the unique position of directing Kurt and Wyatt Russell's shared role of Lee Shaw. So Monarch, Legacy of Monsters and WandaVision were similar undertakings. You had to lead two movie franchises into television, although WandaVision wasn't intended to be Marvel Studios' first series. And in both cases, you occasionally had to show a new perspective on existing events. So did your experience on WandaVision serve you well on this? That's a very interesting perspective. I had not thought about it that way before. When you started the question, I chuckled because the two shows, to me, are so different. One is a show about sitcoms and grief and all of that. But I love Godzilla in the same way that I have loved Marvel Comics since I was a kid. I grew up watching Godzilla Toho movies with my dad on the couch in Ventura, California. But from doing WandaVision, I absolutely learned so much about telling personal stories set against a big, large canvas. One of the things that I loved most about WandaVision was that it was this story of grief that asked, can you ever truly get over a loss? And this show, created beautifully by Matt Shakman and Chris Black, is similar in its thematics. It's about multi-generational family drama, trauma, secrets, and mystery, and we follow all of these different emotional tendrils and see how they start to overlap and affect each other. And it's such an interesting way to tell a story for the MonsterVerse, which I love. I love seeing Godzilla and King Kong battle in the sky. It's fantastic. But this show is very much about what it's like to be on the ground and looking up at that experience. How do those moments of trauma affect and change your life? When Marvel Studios was coming to television for the first time, even though WandaVision wasn't supposed to be the first show, it was great that it was because it was this love letter to TV, and it was about what TV does best. It came out in the middle of the worst part of the pandemic when we were all at home.